let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. Non-duality, Advaita, means duality, Advaita, non-duality. It's just a name to say what is not into what one knows, which is duality. It's not two. They don't say more than not two. So the indication is, don't work with duality. You are not, in fact, in reality, you are not in duality. What you are is not two. It doesn't belong to the duality. And once you realize that your real nature is not belonging to duality, to the mind, there is only that. So the duality itself disappears. The expression of the self disappears as something else than the self. Only the mind, appearing mind, makes differences and opposites and comparisons. So, Advaita, non-dual reality, it cannot be apprehended by the mind. It cannot become a concept, because then the mind overpowers and has the pride that he may know what's real, when in fact it comes from there, or it appears there and disappears there before he can say a word. So the whole point is not to use the mind, not to go into any movement of the mind for a moment, just to show that something is always there, even though the mind may not be there. So the mind cannot do something else than invent in its own creation, in its own fantasy, which will be personal for everyone, his own way to be free. But that itself, up to the moment he understands that trying with the mind is helpless and hopeless. It's when the mind stops his compulsion to own everything and to know everything and to feel everything and to sense everything. So when there is this kind of surrender of the mind, that which is always there is obvious. So it's true, as long as one deals with the mind for liberation or to know his real self, he will deal with the mind, but then there is some indication which can be very precious to empty a lot of concepts one carries and to give the opposite direction than the normal flow of the mind, which is self-inquiry. Through self-inquiry, the mind will lose its pride, will quieten down. Till it will reappear, of course. But there is no much other way for somebody to help itself. Because after all, it's a question of waking up to its own nature. It's a question of not using the mind. So, any question, any clarity, more clarity you need, please ask. This satsang, this place is for it. It's more to remove concepts than to taste silence or bliss that you may have. Because silence and bliss, they can always appear and disappear anywhere. But a doubt, once it goes, it goes. Otherwise, the doubt kills many times.
Said it's important to be with good company. What is the attraction of bad company? Why the mind is interesting that you still look for people who make you feel divided?
You know, good company in the sense that the company you get look at the same direction than what you are attracted with, you see, in that way. And as long as one takes himself for somebody, he will need company. Even if he's a retired one, there will always be somebody else. So there is less multiplication in the mind if let's say I and the other look at the same direction, which is trying not to be washed away by the mind.
I know that, but why is it interesting? Then actually one should not spend time with people who don't know about satsang.
It's up to each one, but I find it's true, without wanting to be sectarian. But do you have any attraction to be with others who don't have a touch of satsang? That's up to each one. So, what brings you in satsang? What still brings you in satsang? If there is something not solved, not clear, please ask. I cannot guess, I'm not a visionary, I cannot guess what's invading you. So that's part of the satsang, to forget the shyness, to forget that there is maybe many friends. It's one-on-one, in fact, because it is essential. There is no other way. We are not in those times where the guide could manage to be one-on-one. So one has to overcome those things because the thirst to realize is stronger than those feelings or considerations. Yes.
I just want to say how special
A
it is.
little.
I just want to say how special it is to be back in satsang after. I don't want to hold back because time feels so precious, and I feel so aware of the strength of identification with, a separate individual, as a mother, as whatever.
Yeah.
And I just want to open a dialogue because self-doubt is something that I relate to on a kind of personal level, but actually when I hear you say, doubt yourself, I mean, this is obviously the ultimate, this is the true doubt.
Yeah.
So I just...
Yes. You see, you never lose yourself, even though sometimes the experience is to be washed away by identifications, by states, by mind, by whatever. But when this cloud passes, where are you? Where are you left? Unless you land or you catch another cloud immediately. But you see, if you come to satsang, you must know, or at least give the most value, that to those moments where there is looking like nothing. So, in between hooking two things, we can say like that. These are more valuable. So remember that there, what else is there? It's yourself that you cannot experience, I agree. You cannot feel it. It is of some other nature than what the mind presents. But you know the value through satsang, and that is never lost. It's never lost. The proof you can try, you hook this much, you are surprisingly, and whenever you stop, it's always there. It's always there. So that has to be valued again and again. That's all. Yes, hi, I'm happy to see you.
If to trying to center the heart, I use my master's mind. This is mind.
My master's mind, he has a
My
mind?
master's mind.
Okay.
Memory.
Yeah.
This is mind.
It's a face, no?
It's a memory.
Unless you feel that the smile comes from somewhere else. What attracts you? The gesture of the smile or that which makes one smile? And I have to answer differently. I want to believe it is what makes one smile. You see? And that's yourself. That's your own self, expressed in this way, maybe in your case to remind you that you are prior to the surge, prior catching a smile, even. But nothing wrong with that smile if it reminds you and throws you back where you always are. Hmm?
Ganga,
Yes, Indira?
I have, can you help me inquire? I have a certain core feeling that is coming up a lot these days. And I inquire a lot all the time.
Yes.
And I do, as you say, value
Yes.
where that takes me more than that. And yet, right now, this is still coming up a lot. So
What is coming up?
it's an anxiety feeling.
Uh-huh.
I don't even really
So-
know what it's about. It's just feels
Listen,
like the
listen,
Yeah.
it's very simple. It's a presentation of your mind,
Yeah.
not to continue the self-inquiry. So don't care. Let
Yeah.
your body or your heart feel something. You don't care.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't stop there.
yeah.
You don't stop at anything.
I want to not be interested, but since it keeps coming up, it seems that it must.
It seems no. It's a bad habit
Yeah.
of the past. No, no meaning. Except the meaning that the mind wants to survive.
Yeah.
Yes. But you don't want that. Yes. Be radical aussi. Is everybody clear about what is expressed in satsang? If not, please ask. What do you lose? You may lose your mind, but that's what you want. When I say lose your mind, I mean the power that it's real. Otherwise the mind can reappear. And it doesn't matter.
Ganga,
Yeah. Hi.
I've been, thank you so much. It's very beautiful to be in your presence.
Okay.
I've been in satsang for 5 years,
Okay.
and I never had any question. And I feel it's so nurturing. It all comes from that. And the only question I have is this. There is a shyness I feel, but I don't feel it's a shyness that is bad. It's just I feel everything comes from just the presence of the teacher. It's so clear, even when I watch Papaji's
Yeah.
videos,
Yeah.
it gives me everything.
Yeah.
And I ask myself if there's something hiding there, something that doesn't want to ask, because it's okay to have a teacher and never ask like this. Because I never have questions in a way.
But this is a question.
This is a question,
Yes,
yes.
I'm
but
very
it's
happy about it. You see, you are living on the teacher's freedom. And may I ask you then, this cannot be yours, because otherwise you would not ask. It probably, it looks like disappearing also sometimes when you are not in the presence or when you don't have the circumstances of your teacher, isn't it? Or tell me.
For 2 years I could not be with my teacher. Life didn't allow me at all. Like every doors were closing. But even that, I could feel everything coming very strongly, but the presence was there.
Yeah, I mean, the presence is the presence of your teacher.
The presence inside, there was nothing physical presence, no way. But I could
Okay, but it
observe.
is which presence I want to know, that's the point.
It's like a feeling that everything can be observed. It's like a feeling that everything comes, it generates feelings, but it goes.
Yeah,
But there's something that always is there,
yes.
and it's very invisible. I cannot grasp, I cannot touch.
Yes, very good. And why do you bring your teacher here?
Hmm?
Why do you bring a teacher here?
Because sometimes I feel something may be wrong because I don't have any questions. And this is something that makes me...
But you see, what's asking a question? What it is?
I think it's some anxiety about this.
Yeah, it is somebody having a mind who suddenly panics because he doesn't ask a question. But then, listen, if you are in the presence of yourself, there is absolutely no value about the question of the mind. Because the mind, how we can even conceive what is real. So you have to be sure about that. Hmm? Okay. Because it is only the mind which asks questions. It is not yourself. It's not your real self, the real self. So there, you cannot say that you always are with yourself because you waver.
Yes.
Okay, you waver. Okay. So sometimes you listen to the person, to I, sometimes not.
Yes.
No? It's like that.
Yes.
So when it's clear, when you listen to the person, you listen to something special in the mind. Yeah? When you feel in presence of your real self, it's when the person doesn't have such strength, and yet it's there, but having a quietness, having absolutely even maybe no mind for a while.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have never realized yourself. And that explains the wavering. You see, who you really are is really not depending even on a quiet mind. Yeah? Is it clear?
Very clear.
Okay, then keep quite there. Keep quite there. And know that all the rest is the mind. Is there any value in what the mind will bring?
No, this I've seen many times.
You have to see it all the time.
Yes. even when it's something, I can feel sometimes it's something presented as something good, but the energy is like excitement. It's not.
Whatever rises is the mind.
Yes.
Whatever,
Yes.
good or
Thank you.
Ganga,
yes, Mahadev.
like you said, whatever rises, it's the mind.
Yes.
It's clear. Like lately, this means a lot this sentence from wherever you are, I am.
Yes.
It's also rising.
Yes.
But
It's rising in your memory, yes. Do you need that sentence to be? Or you just love that sentence? Be honest.
thank you.
Some sentences, those expressed by the Master, you see, they remind, they bring you there. You need them, they are tools. What a luck, what a blessing. At some point, the same ones, they still may appear, you may love them, you don't need them anymore. So don't reject beforehand, don't reject anything anyway. Don't reject these sentences uttered from the self. From the mind, use your sword. That's a beautiful saying of Ramana, wherever you are. It was while dying, he said that. Wherever you are, I am. It is, you see, I am is always there and there is no more geography or location. So wherever you are means wherever your body is. It's not about identifying with the body. Then you are in I am. This I am doesn't belong to anybody, not even to Ramana. That's what he meant. Yes.
You transfer all the time, and all the time it's being received. But I wonder if I transfer something ever to anybody.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Seems not.
Don't worry about that. I don't worry. Yes.
You always say in satsang, if you have some questions, ask.
Yes.
If you have any doubt, ask, because it's like this that you are going to be helpful. I don't know how to say it. And I feel now very angoissé, how you say it in English?
Angoissé, anxious. Yeah.
Anxious, because I feel that more I came, less I have questions. But even if I don't have questions, I'm not wake up. Then I feel like Ganga says that we have to ask, and I feel like
No, I don't oblige. I am very happy if there is no questions. After all, they will also dry up, no, the questions.
but even if I don't have questions, I am not
So
awake.
that's a question.
Then yeah.
Yes.
And then there appears the fear or this angoisse.
The anxiety not to have a question.
And I
Yes, because this happens because you have no question, and yet there is this question of I have no question. I am blank. The mind is blank. The mind doesn't stir up much because he heard maybe enough or he solved enough with his own previous questions. But it's still the mind. That's why you feel. So, who is blank? Who has no question? That you don't ask. You care more about you wake up, but how you will wake up when you will go with the direction of this question. Who is blank? I at least keep that question. Otherwise you will land in no man's land. I will land. It's a good opportunity for self-inquiry. But also sometimes the mind has no questions because he's enjoying also to be quiet, which I understand very well. One is tired not to be quiet. Yet you had no questions yesterday, this morning before coming, or it's just happening now? You have no more questions, means you are really clear.
I don't have questions. I know that I have to do it again and again, self-inquiry and
Yeah, but you understood that to be without question is also a state of mind.
yeah. And that's why I person want to understand and want to resolve this, but I know that I can't resolve it with the person. I have to.
You can solve it with self-inquiry. That's what I say. Hmm? Who is this I? Is there any I? And if you say yes, you must see that you refer to the body, to senses, to emotions, to conceptualizations, to feelings. I'm not that. This is self-inquiry.
Yes, I do it, but even if I do it, there's always a feeling behind. There's a feeling that when I ask the question and when I make self-inquiry, I have something that lands me in I am. Even if I say I'm not that, I'm not this, I even don't born, I'm not this body, or only this body. There's something behind.
But that something is felt by what?
I.
Yes. Yeah, but I is not an abstraction. I, in this case, is a body-mind. This is the belief, no?
Even if I say to me that I am not that, I feel that I'm that even, no?
I'm sorry. Even if you say I'm not that, I'm not this body-mind.
There's a feeling behind that. Yes, I exist.
But yeah, but then this is part of the self-inquiry, okay. But if you say I exist, what do you mean by that? You speak about your body-mind again. So the information, the knowledge that you heard, I'm not the body-mind, is not penetrating. It penetrates maybe one layer, but it doesn't penetrate enough. That's why self-inquiry has to work like a driller in your heart. Something, which...
Une personne.
Une perceuse.
When I am there, again.
Then what else? Then what else, tell me? Or just wake up. Just wake up.
I am asking because there is the anxiety,
My God, you have, all person, they repeat again and again their story because they like it. I understood you. It's 5 minutes you say you come back to anxiety. I understood. I just throw you to some layers where you land, where you think you said, I'm not the body, not the mind. I believe you. But then you still land on something that the body-mind presents. You have to be clear about those layers. Why do you land? The self-inquiry, the answer of it is the moment you don't land anywhere. And if you land anywhere, be sharp. See that it concerns really senses or emotions or feelings or thoughts. So it means you are the body or mind at that time. That's why you see it's a very good tool to say, I'm not the body, not the mind, but the best tool is self-inquiry. And you can use everything at the same time or not at the same time. But you see, there are not so many great tools. Or you negate and you have to come to self-inquiry, or you make self-inquiry directly. It's like that. To allow to wake up. If there is any question about that, it's very important, please ask. Because satsang is about that. It's about that. It's to help to really be convinced by the clarity of it that the mind will not do, the experiences will not do, nothing will do, because I am already that. And all the rest is a fantasy of the appearances and disappearances. So, to check that base on which one settles down, which is I am born, I am this, means this body mind is born and it is mine, and I am that. To shake up that, you see, you have to be a bit freed from other questions about the world, the universe and all that, to be able to see, but the root of things is this I. If I doesn't wake up, is there any search? Is there any seeker? Is there anything? And where I am left, it's that. Mm-hmm. So if it is not clear, please ask. You did it. Okay. Because nobody here, nobody else can do it for you. Nobody else. Here there is no question of transmission or whatnot. It's the one who wants to know what's real, who doesn't. Yes, hi.
It is clear.
It is?
It is clear.
It is clear.
And it is clear that whatever arises and from and when
Yeah.
it goes, it doesn't impact on what is.
Yes.
And if there is a question, and that it comes, is that what is keeps being confirmed somehow, or it seems like it's more like a confirmation that keeps happening and deepening. So it doesn't change, but still there is a deepening happening. And also in the manifestation of how life comes and how this one relates, or how is in life as well. I don't know if this is a question, it's more like checking.
You see, you want to check because you need confirmation. I wonder who it is. Up to you to reply. Deepening happens in the layers of the manifested consciousness. It has absolutely no reality in the self. And the layers of consciousness belong to somebody which arose from the self that you are. And as somebody appearing needs confirmation when he doesn't know, when he's still there as a belief. Otherwise, is devoided, even appearing, is devoided of all those needs, all those considerations. You see? So don't confuse yourself for the depth of consciousness, the deepening, which needs confirmation and checking, I agree, for what you are. Because what you are is not even I am. It's unconceivable, unexperienceable, and there is no measurements of deepening or not there.
I think I must put that question. If I follow in that game, trying to center the heart, and mind appears, and after I go again on the heart, and mind appears again, what kind, this is a wrong game. For me, I think it's a wrong game, and sometimes it's tiring. What you have to say about it, to me?
If you were not trying to center in your heart, what would happen? All this game is because there is the game to center, to be centered in your heart.
It could be like you said before, an attraction not to center on the heart, but what gives
Comes
that,
up.
comes before that. But if mind appears, and I enter more in that game.
If you still enjoy the game, it's okay for me.
I don't think I enjoy the game, is why I put the question.
You are fascinated, maybe you still are hypnotized sometimes, or all the time,
I
whatever.
don't think it's that.
No?
No.
Tell me more then. But it's a game. You are
Okay.
looking at the game.
No, but it's not. I don't search for the game. I would tell you that if I search for something, I would search for anything. But I don't know to reach it, to be there immediately. Then I think I use it as a...
I don't understand.
But I will try to explain it.
I don't understand. I'm sorry.
I will try to explain it.
When you are clear, it's not clear for me. I cannot answer that. I don't understand what you mean. I'm sorry.
Okay.
what is your main pleasure? What do you really want?
In words, I try to reach that freedom where there is not that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to launch it using the starting point. Okay, using a starting point, trying to to overcome that starting point.
Mm.
And then the starting point for me is the heart. Okay, I go on the heart.
Yeah, but it belongs to somebody. It is your heart.
That's
yeah?
it.
Yeah.
But more or less like the self-inquiry. It's what I say. Maybe it's not true.
It's absolutely not true. But okay, no, it has nothing to do with self-inquiry. I'm sorry to say. It has nothing to do. Maybe this is to be clear. It's not because you speak of heart that. Because Ramana spoke of the heart, but in his own way to express, it was very understandable that it was not the physical heart, it was even located somewhere, and he was telling, don't forget that, I speak about that because one still identifies himself with the body. So, if it gives confusion about heart, forget about that.
Okay, so forget the heart.
Yes.
Not thinking.
Okay, you don't think. Okay.
And after thinking.
And
After
yeah,
thinking.
and after and then one thinks and then doesn't think and then
after again who is thinking, then okay.
What then okay?
No,
this
no.
is the thing. This is so banalized, this self-inquiry, I cannot believe I can quit the thing. It's so banalized. What? How can you speak
But
like
I'm
this?
not banalizing, okay, but it was not my idea to banalize. I put the question, who lands on that thought? Okay, and I try not to fall again in the thought. But for a moment, it's okay, and I'm distracted. Something is distracting.
Yeah.
And
But this is
fall again.
yeah, because the mind is still powerful. You see,
For
because
sure.
there is still someone who wants to inquire, but that someone is still a seeker. Someone, yeah.
Yes.
So of course, this is the thing, and that's why this is the journey of the seeker. That the mind looks still powerful, but I tell you, more you do self-inquiry means more you go into the direction of inquiring about the source of I, the rising I, more the attraction into what the mind presents will be ruined. So, do it again and again. What can I say more? And what's your experience when you inquire? Tell me now.
It's completely different. It's never the same thing, but okay.
It's never the same thing because the answers are every time different, you see. But that are still the answer of the mind. Whatever you can catch or understand or feel, it is the mind. Huh? And self-inquiry, it's a tool to cross, to try to be so concentrated on the inquiry that you are not washed away. And that will be more and more with time, with seriousness, with the love for it. You will be less washed away. if it is really understood clear that it's all about this I, somebody. If that is clear, drill, dig. But no, still here, that you are already that.
Yes.
You are
But,
already that. You are just following your fantasy to find out who you are.
What somehow comforts me,
Yeah.
or it's not very clear, it's that it's a substantial difference.
The substance.
There's a substantial difference, or
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least
okay.
it's what my
Yeah.
mind says to me, if I'm here and if I'm not here.
Yes, still. That's why you have to come. I'm sorry, I was not free on Sundays. That's why you have to come.
But it's good. I could not come because I
Yeah.
can check with me what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. Yes,
But-
it's true. For a period of time, that's why I repeat, if you really want to free yourself, dedicate a period of time to be as much as possible in satsang alive. Of course. Then all the stories you see in the book about disciples and master, student and teacher, what is it? They spend their time because they dedicate some time of their life to that. It's like that. It works like that. As you spend some time at school to learn French, English, mathematics.
But every day I go to that school, even if I doesn't come here. Then it's why it's good
Yeah, I
to
know.
come
it.
now and to check that now.
Yes, but yeah, sure, satsang is for that. Satsang is for that. It's a kind of school. Of course, the subject of this school is very particular. It has absolutely no subject. And if at all there is a subject, we try hard to make it disappear as real.
Okay, I would like that. I could have that, not coming here. It's why I say that to you now.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice something.
Because suppose there's no more Sunday satsang, I cannot come.
I know, dear, I know. I
No,
know.
it's not getting to you the culpability. It's on my mind because maybe I'm a little bit independent or too much independent. It's because of that. Okay, thank you very much.
I'm not so happy now. I made some mistakes. I bought the wrong thing. I said the wrong things.
Forget it.
Okay.
And don't do it again. Forget it. You see the mind. Mind is memory. And then you play with that. You go in the future, you go more in the past, and you reproduce the past in the present. When shall we stop it? When?
When you do the right thing,
No. No. Even with the right thing, you will go in the future, in the past, in the present. No.
something troubled me, popping
Yeah.
in my mind, because I was hooked by your word, be radical.
Ah, yeah.
This sentence hooked me because I don't know, maybe of my personal life or my personal story, but then what happened in my mind is that I understood that every kind of habit, like vasanas or like
Whatever appears, yeah.
yeah, could feed the mind. Even a glass of wine, for example, because it's kind of habit from the body mind. Then the trouble is, okay, I enjoy life to be here and I relax a lot, but then I asked me, have you been enough radical to inquire? And
I'm happy you asked that. Yes.
yeah.
It's extremely important. It makes a whole difference between an experience, a glimpse, you know, which can slip into memory and which can look like a life sometimes, but it's from the memory, and the real thing. You see, to be radical means not that you have to live a life like that. It is when you inquire, you may have an experience of disappearance of the I. The concept, the what we thought was it. But the mind, since it doesn't die, the mind will reappear. So here, as you know that whatever appears and disappears is the mind, you are surely not going there. And this, so it's like to have oneself the power of the self not to go there, not to go again in the mind. Otherwise you make it glimpses. And of course, the trick is when we are a seeker for a long time, and even serious seeker, is that glimpses can reappear, or at least circumstances make look like real thing, but it's not the real thing, because it's from the memory. So here, you have to really hear, okay, whatever appears from here, if you are not in your mind, whatever appears, it's the mind. No doubt about it. It's the mind. I learned enough. I heard it enough. So for once, I'm not going there. You know, so that the self reveals itself means that's the realization. And afterwards, of course, the body-mind goes into things, it's called the life, playing on this. But then there is no sense of losing it or going back to the real thing, because it has been radically cut. It's false because there was never a link, but the snake is radically seen, and even if you sense a rope or even see a rope in the snake, somehow it's really, you know, it's the fantasy of the mind. That's the radicality. Did I answer?
Yes, I understand. Also, what is coming like a trouble also it's okay. For example, okay, in my castle, the mind, the eye is
what?
in my home, if you want.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
the mind is not is no more a king.
Okay.
But my hypothesis is that there is still a ghost.
Ah, okay.
You understand?
Yes, I
Yeah,
understand.
because
A shade, let's
Yeah, shade,
like
like
this
this.
they will not
So
laugh.
yeah, it's not so. It's not.
Okay, okay, okay. So, very good. Very good. There is a shade too much. So now you know that is the mind.
Yeah.
You know that the mind presents itself like this
Okay.
and you don't care. Because you abide in yourself. It's a doubt too much, presented in this. Don't give power to the mind. Abide in yourself. Hmm?
Yeah, I was thinking, you have to understand this again. It means I did.
Listen, you are that. You are that.
Okay.
Huh? As Ramana Maharishi, as Papaji. You are that. Yeah? Everything else which would comment
Okay.
is the mind.
Okay. That was commenting. Yeah.
Don't listen.
Okay.
That is the radicality. Don't listen. Even if it looks, it's so serious, I will finally, you don't listen.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Last time you said something, you asked me if I'm sure, but I don't remember the word. Nothing in the mind can be of really important, or nothing in life can make me really happy, something like that.
Nothing what in the life?
Can make it.
Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah, remember, yeah.
And it throws me in doubt sometimes. And there is a doubt about it. If I'm clear about that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure.
Then clear it up. Clear it up. Are you still running after some time? Are you still running after some object, let it be out or in, because you believe it will give you happiness? You have to be clear about that. Nothing in this world will give you permanent happiness. So the happiness, to keep that word, comes from somewhere else. It tries to describe something else than what is presented in this world. And that's what you are. That's the background of the whole thing. And it's true, as a gift, often the life also is very pleasurable and all that. But who wants to sell one's soul to those pleasures, you see, if it was to lose what is precious? If you don't have any doubt about I can never lose myself, then only you can enjoy the life also and have pain also. Only. And if you still doubt, run after the real thing. Except if you are in the company of those who run after the real thing and they have some holidays in this life of parties and whatnot, enjoy. You will not be lost. I learned that with my master, you see. He was making the market very precise and meticulous for the good potato, engrossed in saying if there is nothing wrong, counting correct money, not more, not less, making chai, everything. But he was, and I was, no, I express that to say, and I was accompanying, and you are not more lost in those activities than in satsang, because it reminds you of who you are. So do it for yourself. Whatever I do, I'm never lost. Okay. And if you have this feeling of being lost, inquire. Take a moment, inquire. Who can be lost after all? The one I think I am, the state I think I achieved, and so on. So it's not that. I was in my mind, and then stop to go in your mind just for a moment. Not falling in the state of no mind, of course. This is the self-inquiry.
Is it possible to travel in the time, to go back to that point before you lost your money, before you lost your love, before you lost your health? I think it is. When you are in debt, you are in fact before all your problems. Huh?
Did you ask that one?
I have a glimpse.
The glimpse are the newspapers.